Hi guys, welcome. I'm Jen Burson. I'm the founder and president of Generation PR and the creator of Generation Academy and the Powerhouse Pros community. Welcome. I'm happy to have you here again. Let me get my notes all ready for you. This is going to be kind of a surprising topic for me to discuss because it's about being an introvert. I feel that this might be surprising, but I consider myself an introvert. My husband's like, BS, you are not. And what I have come to realize is that the concept of like being an introvert or an extrovert is not your outward personality. It is more about where you get your energy from. Are you energized by being around other people, or does it drain you? That's really the definition of introversion and extroversion that I'm going to kind of lean into today, because it's about the energy that you have when you're interacting with people and when you are kind of on your own. So I love being in my office, doing my thing. I love being here by myself. I love to have a little bit of downtime. We're going to think about where we have our energy coming from. You know, some people feel like that's a little bit, maybe not, the word isn't confusing, but surprising that we would think you have to be extroverted in order to be a successful entrepreneur and agency owner and a comms pro. You can still have a successful business, a thriving new business pipeline, even if you tend to have introverted tendencies. We know you don't have to be an extrovert to be a comms pro. And Exhibit A, I am an introverted digital agency owner. It does take a little bit of extra strategy to set up your agency in a way that will be conducive to your introverted tendencies. It doesn't have to look like everyone else's, and you can focus on the services that really light you up and not do the things that might drain you consistently. So I want you to focus on the things that will really light you up and energize you, and not have to worry about providing services or working with certain kinds of clients if it will drain you and make you feel like you're really pushing yourself every day in a way that isn't sustainable. So my 7 best strategies for thriving as maybe an introverted extrovert like me, no matter your niche. The first is you want to figure out where you get your energy from. Like I said, as an introvert, you probably feel most energized when you're working on your own or maybe with one close collaborator. Unlike extroverts, being around other people for long periods is really draining. But from there, you need to take it a step further and figure out the tasks and the activities in your agency that drain you and the ones that energize you, that light you up, that like light a little fire inside of you. And that's the first step to thriving as an introvert in your business. So I said, I think of myself as an extroverted introvert. I've been working from home before it was cool, before it was really accepted. I used to have to be like, oh no, my office is under construction. I'll meet you at Starbucks, because I was so self-conscious about working from home. And now I'm like, it's like not a big deal. But 18 years working from home, and I get my energy from being at home and focusing on my own work. And I know that I have maybe a bit more of like a bubbly and outgoing personality. And when I go out into the world, I really try to include everyone in conversations, because I know that feeling of like, okay, I'm just standing here and nobody's brought me into the fold and I'm trying to connect and they're all, I will look at somebody if I see them and nobody's addressed them, and I'll like bring them in, because that thought to me of someone just standing there and nobody is bringing them in is so stressful and cringy. I'm like, I have to be the one to be like, hey, come join us. So that's more my personality. So I can tend to seem more extroverted in larger groups, but big events, traveling to client meetings, it gives me a lot of anxiety. And so I don't do that too often. So just know where you get your energy. And two, lean into those strengths and be aware of the weaknesses. So when you know your strengths and weaknesses as an introverted digital agency owner, you can stay in your zone of genius, that zone of energy all day long. And you set yourself up with a role that will fully play into your strengths and will let you shine for the things that you are good at, but you also are wired for. And you could build a business that's going to energize you even when things are really tough. So that's how I feel my business has served me over the years, is like if I need to step away or I'm having an emotional day, I can take a beat, I can be with myself and just recenter, take as much time as I need, go for a walk. And that's how I set it up. I did not want to have to go into an office every day. I just want to manage my own schedule and take that time to re-energize myself. So when you have downtime where you're in between interacting with others, you can focus your energy there and let others on your team go out in the world when clients need that. You want to be staying energized in your zone of genius so that it'll set you up to provide the best service possible and love your business long term. I knew that if I were going to be committed to a world of large scale events that I had to produce and manage, I would have flamed out hard years ago. So like I said, also in the beginning of my agency, it was pre-Zoom, but I would drive hours to meet clients in person because they asked, let's get a meeting together. Even though I felt more myself, more effective and more comfortable right here doing what I'm doing now. And so now remotely, I get the opportunity to really think through my words and my thoughts. I felt in person, I was really on the spot. So if I were still working in person, I'd be anxious on most days. I would not love my business the way that I love it now. Because I get my energy from this environment, I set up my agency to be more focused on supporting clients with strategy, connecting with other digital agency owners through our programs, and pitching for new business. My team pitches the media because I just also don't love that so much. But this is why I wanted to create a program that merges high performance and the factors that will lead you to make the right choices for the best outcomes in your business and your life, and have a real clear idea of your vision and your values, and find ways that you get your energy, that you feel like you have the most clarity, and have a plan in place to create really seamless integration of your work and your life, your energy, your relationships, your physiology, your mental health, your environment that you live in, and how your business serves that, and how all of that will support your goals with your business. Okay, so that's 2, is you want to lean into those strengths and weaknesses. 3, call on a mentor. There are tons of people out there like us, and having somebody that is a mentor to help you navigate this industry and finding your way when it might be a little more challenging, having the energy come from not being out and interacting in the world. You want somebody to help you do all of that without getting drained, and identify your strengths and weaknesses, and help you identify those so that you can set yourself up for long-term success. And with a mentor, you can work towards improving those weak spots, and maybe that means growing your public speaking skills or figuring out how to delegate the workload to keep you in your zone of genius, so you're not having to do all of the things that actually will drain you but are kind of necessary in your business. And I've gone through this industry as an extroverted introvert, and I do have valuable strategies that you can use to make those tough tasks a little bit easier. So having a close collaborator on your team who might be more of an extrovert can also help as you work with your mentor, and they can really like hype up your work during client calls if that's something that maybe you struggle with. I know a lot of PR pros who might view themselves as introverts have a really hard time promoting themselves, or they can take the lead in in-person events while you are working on big picture strategy at home. So having someone on your team that is that person that might be energized and feel up to it. Maybe you lean on them, you outsource, you're like, you do that stuff. And, clients, they'll go with it. Honestly, I used to be afraid like they want me, and it's like, no, they just want support, and it didn't have to be me. Number 4, leverage what you love. So when you have a defined zone of genius and a set of tasks or the responsibilities that are the things in your business that you actually love, you can leverage those and then create a business around it so that you're doing what you love and lights you up every day. So it's your agency. You get to decide which services that you offer to your clients. And if a client comes and they request a service, like clients will come and say, we want influencer events, we want tastemaker events. I'm like, cool. I have a great company that's incredible, and we will be there to secure the media piece, because I am not going to be producing your influencer event. That is not my jam. It would stress me out, and I'm not doing it. So outsource those tasks to someone who does love it. And if someone joins your team who has a completely different zone of genius, maybe you then expand your offerings that will account for their strengths. So it's not just all the things that you do and that you love, but if someone comes along and they're like, I love creating social media content, I love writing captions, I can create great graphics in Canva, cool. Let's create a service around that, because then you're doing something you love, and now we have a new income stream that is not centered around things that I personally have to do. I can talk about it and I can sell it all day long, but I'm not going to be the one to execute. And when you lean into the services you love, then you're building a business you will love long term. But if you feel like you have to spend your day on these projects that you hate or tasks that drain you, that's a recipe for burnout. And this is what I've done in my business. The positive side of it is building that team who takes care of those day-to-day responsibilities so that I get to focus on big picture strategy, creative approaches, problem solving, client services, and then of course, creating resources for our community. So build your team and lean into their strengths and supplement the things that maybe you're not the best at. Number 5, build a community on your own terms. Your network is a crucial part of entrepreneurship. You are building a network that will support your business, but I know it's really hard to build a network when you're an introvert, because you're like not loving going out to networking events. But you don't, thankfully, have to build a community in person, because we have platforms like LinkedIn, and of course our programs and our communities, the Agency Accelerator, the Pitch Lab community, and of course the smaller, more focused group that will come together for Elevate. And this gives you access to like-minded agency owners online without having to go out into the world, feel stressed, and feel drained. If you do decide to attend networking events or industry conferences, which we love, let yourself be an introvert. Don't try to be the loudest voice in the room or compete with getting attention and wear yourself out. Try to go for those one-on-one interactions or small groups, like 3 to 4 people. Definitely try to meet new people, but have those smaller group interactions, because those meaningful, deeper discussions with a handful of people are far more impactful than a quick 2-minute conversation with a big group where you're not getting anybody's names, or you're getting just everybody like trying to compete for airtime in the conversation. And just be yourself, because when you are just yourself, you will attract genuine connections and help establish trust with your new community. And you can't get into that level of depth in the discussions. I have found, this is kind of a weird trick, that when you ask people to share about themselves, they remember the conversation with you more than if you stood there and just talked about yourself and your business the whole time. And they will like you more. Okay? Do you hear that? The more you ask questions and show interest and go deeper than surface level, that person is going to remember the conversation. When you ask deeper questions, the person feels that you are paying attention to them, that you care about them. It's memorable. That's a little trick. It's a little party trick. And you will have a deeper connection, and that they will remember you and they will like you more. Yes. Okay. So number 6 is stay prepared. So, okay, set up your agency to fully play to your strengths and keep you in your zone of genius, but you do have to step out of your comfort zone sometimes. And when you're faced with a responsibility that might be causing you anxiety or fear, the best way to tackle it is to prepare, of course. So you're taking that pressure of the unknown off of yourself before maybe a big presentation or an event by strategizing leading up to it, thinking through how you want to present yourself. People have like an elevator pitch, and I serve X, I teach X to do Y so that they can Z. You have this like quick elevator pitch. If someone asks you, you can think about how to share what you offer in a way that feels exciting and it feels genuine, like the passion and energy you have for the work you do shines through, and people are automatically drawn to that like a magnet. Feeling confident because you're prepared is a way that you can stare anxiety right in the face and tackle it, take the pressure off yourself by really thinking about your approach. What are the talking points during a meeting, or questions to ask new connections? My husband always asks, what shows are you watching? And do you have any trips planned? Because he really cares. He's like, wants to discover new shows, and he loves travel. He wants to hear where people are going. But people open up when you're not, just like, how's it going? How are the kids? It's like, oh, what shows are you watching right now that you really love? Or what trips do you have planned? And then you can connect if you've been there, or learn about their recommendations. It's just a way for people to like let their guard down. And preparing ahead of time will free up that energy that you would have spent worrying about what the day is going to be like, or leaving your little cozy den and going out into the world. That'll let you create insightful responses ahead of time. And you have talking points, that you've thought about, and they're in your back pocket. And then you can focus on making an impact in your conversation, confidently, like not tripping up on your words and being like, oh my God, right? So, think about how you want interactions to go and how you can carry that energy forward. And sometimes these pre-written responses will show you're proactive, you're engaged, and of course that you're passionate about your work. That's the most important thing, is really letting them feel energetically what you are like to be around. And then number 7, when you are a person that's introverted and you are doing a lot of things that are putting yourself out there, you have to let yourself rest. Rest is a major part of the need for self-care for us introverted digital agency owners. You have to take care of your mental and your physical health as you run your agency, because if you don't, burnout, exhaustion, they're waiting for you right around the corner. And so you have to check in with yourself throughout your workday. Sometimes I'll be like, what, my energy is kind of like fading fast, and I'm going to go sit on my balcony for a little bit and just breathe in some fresh air. I'm going to take 15 minutes. I'm going to go walk the dog. Check in with yourself throughout your workday. Or if you're at an industry event, and just make sure that you don't exceed your limits and push yourself too far. And use your time off to recharge your batteries. Like if you're at a conference and you have a hotel room and you're with a group and they're like, hey, we're all going to the bar to get a drink. I personally don't like to drink. That's not going to be me. I'm going to be like, peace, you guys, have that cocktail. Because that would also drain me, having a drink and then being like, I have to go to dinner. Like, I am exhausted. No, there's just no way. So watch out for any kind of unhealthy coping activities. Like I said, drinking, people do that, I think, to kind of like, they call it the social lubricant for a reason. And sometimes then you're staying out late, or like, I'm sorry, when you're in your 40s and you drink, it's really, you feel like garbage and you don't sleep well. So then you're missing out on good sleep. So, stick to a sleep schedule, make sure you're getting enough hours of sleep in the night, every night. And don't let, what is this? Bedtime procrastination. So you go to sleep much later than you should. That is going to catch up with you at an event or otherwise. So you want to turn to calm, energizing activities. Maybe that's reading to help you fall asleep, a walk in your neighborhood, a walk in the park, run your toes through grass, just feel grounded to nature. Maybe it's yoga, baking. I like organizing and decluttering. So that calms me because I walk into a space and it feels light and free and, calming and not like stressful. That's a great way, just to kind of like wind down at the end of the day too, that reading, nothing on your phone. A Kindle has that, not the blue light. It's a certain kind of light that does mimic a book page, but you can read in the dark and you can adjust the brightness. That shouldn't interfere with your normal like circadian rhythm and your brain being activated by like thinking it's daylight because you're looking at blue light. Do night shift on your phone at a certain time. Try to go to bed every day at the same time. Connect with your calming activities. Think about what those might be and commit to doing them so that you feel like you have a reset and you know what to go to when you're just like, energetically, I am crazed at the moment. So I just need to like go inward. I hope this resonates. But as an extroverted introvert myself, this is where I love to mentor fellow digital agency owners on the like when I always say run it on your terms, this is what I'm talking about. Creating a business that is going to serve your energetic needs as well as your financial and your, personal life. Like, how are you going to build a business? So 18 and a half years later, I still love my work because I don't feel drained most days. All right, guys, be well, take good care. Bye, my fellow extroverted introverts. Go in your hole, recuperate. I shall do the same. Bye.